Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your January 25th, 2024 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps this channel out tremendously. It helps me out tremendously. It gets this channel seen by the YouTube algorithm. So, thank you so very much for doing so. So, let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. We have here the King of Pentacles, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. We have the Five of Wands. We have the Seven of Swords reversed, so lies are going to be coming out. We have the Two of Pentacles. We have Justice reversed, angels and spirit guides. And we have the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So what's interesting here is that we don't have a lot of patience. So if you're wondering, why am I feeling agitated? Why am I feeling frustrated? This is why. The Seven of Pentacles reversed is like, I don't really have the patience for this. I don't really want to be doing this right now. So if you're feeling that way, cut yourself some slack, because that's just the energy that's coming forward. And it's kind of like it's written in the cards right now, not in the stars, but in the cards. So here with Justice reversed, this is Libra energy. So if you're born on the cusp with Libra, or you have Libra in your chart, this part of your personality might be annoying you. Or if you have Libra in your life, this part of your personality or these people might be annoying you during this time. And it's like, okay, I can acknowledge that, and I can acknowledge that it's a season in time, and then I can move forward. The Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is like pettiness for the sake of pettiness. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's young kids playing with hitting each other with sticks. And it all starts out as fun and games. And then you can see that, somebody gets hit in the fingers and, or in the hand, and they start getting upset. And then everything kind of escalates. And that's how things can be. It's like it starts off fun, or some things start off fine. And then the anger comes or the frustration comes. So do be mindful about this during this time, because we're going to be seeing that. And it's like, it's going to be a lot around a lot of lies, a lot of things that come forward. And we can see this astrologically when we get to the astrological part of this reading with the Seven of Swords. We're going to have lies being stated, like being released, being seen. And we're going to see with the Two of Pentacles, we're going to be seeing with this reverse, it's like things are out of balance. And we're going to be looking at things. And what's really going to be interesting is that instead of saying, wow, like I'm super stressed and I need things to calm down, we're going to be like, wow, I'm super stressed. So I'm going to do this thing that is super calming for me, but it takes up time and I don't have the time. So we're going to be seeing that instead of taking things off our plate, we're going to be putting more things on our plate. And Spirit's like, be mindful about that during this time, Scorpio. So just be mindful about that during this time. With Justice reversed, okay? We can be seeing things as being very unfair. We can be looking at the world. We can be looking at our lives. We can be looking at, existence in general and being like, wow, things are really not fair. And that's not cool. But also coming to the understanding that life isn't always fair, or life can be sometimes seldom fair, or never fair. There's going to be, there's a growing up that happens when you see it. Because when we're little, we think, okay, it'll all be fair, right? It'll all work out. And sometimes things just stink for lack of a better word, right? And we're going to be seeing that. And there's something with that here, Scorpio, where it's like, oh, it's a hard time and it wasn't fair and it wasn't nice and I didn't like it. And I just see the sadness and this like intensity to be acknowledged with it. And it's going to be interesting because we're going to try and fix it, or, make ourselves so busy that we don't see it. But acknowledging, that really wasn't fair. It really wasn't cool. I didn't like this, want this at all. And then there's going to be the sense of releasing it or seeing it or saying it and not being held back by it. And it brings us to the Seven of Pentacles. We don't really have a lot of patience during this time. And so with ourselves, having to mourn something, grieve something, release something, we're going to be like, oh, just buck it up and get on with it. And I mean, that's great. That's one way of dealing with it. But here with the Seven of Pentacles, showing ourselves a little bit more grace is going to be really important. And being kind with ourselves, thinking of it as planting seeds in a garden, right? If you plant little tomato seeds and you start to grow them in the house, and then you put them in the garden when it warms up, you see the process, right? You see that they grow and they take time and it takes, care and effort. But if you go to the store and you buy a big tomato plant when the weather gets warm, you're like, oh, okay, it's super easy. But you miss that process of the fragility of planting the seeds. And that's what we're going to need to see here. We're going to need to see the fragility of planting the seeds. We're crowned by the King of Pentacles, prosperity, success, bounty, and abundance. This is also Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If we have this in our chart, if we have Earth sign energy in our lives, we play very well with this energy. We play off of this energy very well. We're going to see that we're very kind of this world focused during this time, which can be something that we as water sign energies feel a little bit uncomfortable with at times, but we're going to be like, oh, okay, this is how I'm seeing things. This is how I'm moving things forward. I'm very connected with the earthly plane, with grounding, with understanding. And that's going to be a big deal. Okay, so let's see what Spirit has to say. And if you're interested in entering to receive a free reading, put a snowflake in the comment box below. A person will be chosen at random and announced on the 1st of February. So good luck to everyone. You will be announced in a separate video altogether. So don't be scammed by anybody contacting you in the comment box. It will not be me. And if you're interested in purchasing a private reading, a private personalized meditation, or a healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. So this is abundance reverse. Now we can be just a little bit harsh on ourselves, a little bit down on ourselves, a way of looking at things that is like, this is everything that's frustrating me, and not seeing that we're actually, what's happening right now is a purge, and we're having release from ourselves, things that are no longer welcome, no longer, conducive to our being. So when abundance is reversed and we're feeling like, oh my gosh, this moon isn't bringing out the abundance, well, it actually is. We just aren't going to be seeing it as abundance. We're going to be seeing it as a frustration, but we're crowned with the King of Pentacles, prosperity, success, money, what we value as much as money coming forward. And so there is abundance in our lives, and we are making way for that abundance. And that's going to be really cool. Our chakra energy, angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels, is life purpose and play. Now, part of our life purpose is play, which sounds silly, but it is important. So our life purpose, and one thing that we can be also coming to an understanding of during this time, is that we haven't been aligned with our life purpose. We've been aligned with our ambition, what other people thought we should be, how other people thought we should be, but with our life purpose, with a sense of like, this is me, this is what I want on this earthly plane. This is what I've come here for. That's going to be different. And that's going to be a little bit more complex. And that's part of the throat chakra. It's speaking into existence what we want. Just like when we name things that we're frustrated with, when we name things that aren't going fair, when we name things that are lies and hurts and pains and disappointments, when we name it, all of a sudden we put it into focus. It's not that shadowy, yeah, like, he who must not be named figure that gets to lurk bigger than life, over us. It is, I see you. I'm taking back my power. I'm naming what needs to be named. And that's part of our life purpose as well, that ascension into ourselves. And as we embrace the heart, because, Leo energy is the heart energy. It is the zodiac sign most linked with the heart. And if you're like me, you were a little bit surprised by that, because I always think of Leo energy. I have a lot of Leos in my life and I love them to pieces. But I always think center stage, a bit of a drama queen, like, calling in the attention. And, that could be my own theatrical self looking at them and finding that annoying. But it's also that sense of that Leo energy. I always think, oh, center stage, right? I don't think, oh, totally connected with their heart, and totally moving forward in that heart energy. But here at play with the heart chakra, when's the last time you played? When's the last time you had fun? Because that's important. And you know why it's important? Because psychologically, we cannot play if we do not feel safe. So if we're going through a really stressful time in our lives, if we're going through a really hard time, if we don't feel safe, we do not play. And so just being aware of that we need to take time to play, to laugh, to have fun, to just be joyous, like little kids are. little kids where you have them just sit down and be quiet, right? And all of a sudden they can start playing just by hiding under the table and peeking their head out. And you're like, oh my gosh, please, But they're finding joy in play and everything. And we have to connect with that energy more and more as adults. Our energy to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides show them clearly. Guide this reading and show them clearly, angels and spirit guides, is rebirth. Now, that's interesting because we're the death card in the major arcana. We're rebirth, right? We're the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new, very linked to Phoenix energy, I would say is like very akin to Scorpio energy. And this is going to be a time where we have to be mindful. We have to be mindful that we are transforming. We have to be mindful that we are releasing. And we are going through a transformation that is wearing on our last nerve. So do be aware of that during this time. So let's look at how the tarot comes into play with the astrology of it all. So this full moon is on the 25th of January. It is a full moon in Leo, and it is at 5 degrees, 14 minutes of Leo. And what is coming forward is the question of what is this bringing closure to? Because we're going to see the closure coming, and we see it all a little bit messy here in the body of the reading, and we see it here leading us and bringing us to prosperity, success, bounty, abundance. Now, Leo is heart energy, is the most linked to the heart. And Leo being the heart, and Aquarius, which is where the sun is the head. So we're linking our heart and our head energy together during this time. Beautifully? Yes. Can be infuriatingly? Absolutely. They're also sister signs, right? So they can bring out the best and they can bring out the worst in each other. Being aware of that is going to be super important. Leo is the sign of the king and sovereignty. Leo is exquisite energy. I don't want you to think that I don't like it because the drama gets to me, but sometimes, sometimes it does. And here, there's that energy that's coming forward of, I know who I am. And that's part of what a Leo is. I know who I am. A well-aligned Leo knows who they are. But what is more, they know where they create from. So not only do I know who I am, I know where I create from, which is I know my sovereignty of being, and I know my connection to source, to the universe, and that creative energy being pulled forward. If you want to go deeper into the astrology of it all, check out Pam Gregory here on YouTube. I have her linked in the description box below. She's absolutely brilliant. We have the dwarf planet, Verona, conjunct the moon. There's very powerful moral compass energy. We see that with the 7 of Swords being reversed. We also see that in the repeat of the number 7, honesty number. I mean, seriously. Oh, goodness, I say smack down on my table. 7 is an honesty number. So you can see people who are born under the number 7, they can try to get away with things. You can see as they're evolving as individuals and human beings, you can see like a little bit sneakiness, like, oh, I'm going to try and get that cookie, right? And their sibling could have eaten 5 cookies, not gotten called out. They go and grab for 1, they get called out. So you're going to see this, during this time where it almost feels like somebody can go and do really big things. Even though we're all under Leo moon, we're going to see this differently. Somebody goes to do a big lie or, taking advantage, right? They don't get called out, but you do. So just be aware of this, especially with the repeat of the number 7 reversed. This is also with the energy of I'm diving deeper into the esoteric, into the spiritual. Now, it could be orthodoxy. You can find your spirituality in orthodoxy, but you don't have to. So just be aware of this during this time. Leo is linked with moral integrity, with truth and justice, where people have told lies. We're also going to see things being brought down to earth, brought into focus, the spotlight put on it, and seeing the roots of it all. That's also what part Leo has to play, ruled by the sun. Now we also have the dwarf planet Gungkung. Now Gungkung is about 5 degrees of Pisces, and this is linked to flooding. So we can see this, and I know I have personally seen it in areas very close to me, linked like having big flooding happening. And we can see this on the world map. We can see this, in our own hometowns. But it is also the channeler of a lot of psychic energy, okay? And we're going to see that this kind of throws us out of balance, especially because Scorpio, we are the sign linked to the spirit world, all right? The sign that lives between the earthly plane and the spirit world. We're a little bit more grounded in the earthly plane right now, most definitely, with the King of Pentacles coming through. But we are going to find that we are looking at things and we're like, oh, is that it? But we can find that we're out of balance just a bit because so much psychic energy is coming forward. We're also so very receptive to it. Okay. So just be aware of this. This can completely overwhelm us. So being aware of that, but we're going to start to look at things differently. And we're going to start to look at things in a different way. And we're going to start to welcome change. So we're going to see what has been out of balance or unjust or unfair, what has been causing chaos. We're going to start to pull the threads out of. It's like, oh, it's this thread. It's this thing. And oh, it was like this. And all of a sudden we start to see the bigger overarching theme. We then have the fixed grand cross, which is between the sun at 5 degrees of Aquarius, the moon at 5 degrees of Leo, Jupiter at 6 degrees of Taurus, opposing Hume at 2 degrees of Scorpio. This is astoundingly determined energy. We have enormous determination. We have grit and gumption to see things through. We are focused, we are determined, and we really are like, I don't care about getting my hands dirty. I don't care what it takes. I am achieving and I am succeeding. Jupiter is at let me get my words. Okay. Jupiter is T squared. There we go. T squared the full moon. Now, this is going to magnify anything that we're going through during this time. So the fact that we feel things are unjust, or the fact that lies are coming out, or the fact that we are impatient, or the fact that, there's this annoying, nitpicky energy around us. It gets magnified, which we think, okay, great, that's awesome. Don't like any of that. It's all crowned by the magnification of the King of Bounty and Abundance, which is astounding. If we can walk out of the muck and mire of it's not fair, or this isn't right, or, I'm taking on too much, or I need everything to be just to everyone, and nobody's going to think that way. Nobody's going to be like, oh, I'm perfectly happy with this. You're not going to get everybody to agree. Just know that during this time, you're going to want to get everybody to agree, but that's going to almost seem impossible. But you're going to be able to move forward in abundance. That song, I went to a garden party, and I think that's the name of the song. And it says, you can't please everyone. You have to please yourself. My mother would always say that, and she would always play that song because she's like, you can't please everyone. And even now, I still struggle with wanting to be such a people pleaser. And you can't do it. It's just going to drain you dry. So just be aware of this. The sun is conjunct Pluto, okay? And with Leo bringing things center stage, we will see that secrets come to fruition. Like secrets are brought to life, especially around people of prominence. So just be aware of this. And you might actually see that you are part of that, guiding source of bringing secrets to life. Okay? Just be aware. Just be aware because Scorpio, you live in secrets. Okay? You can have a way of seeing people and things and really being able to assess and take things in. So just be aware of this during this time. Okay. But especially people of prominence. We can see people like celebrities and politicians and, people center stage like that. But we're also going to see people in center stage in our lives. Now we have Mercury conjunct Mars in Capricorn, which is very quick thinking energy coming forward. And this is also going to be great for our long-term thinking because Capricorn is fantastic for long-term thinking, long-term planning, but be mindful. Be mindful. Everybody has to be mindful of sharp words, especially, around amenity. People are going to be able to be very, very rude, very, very caustic with their words, especially when they're not talking to somebody face to face or voice to voice. Okay, so on the telephone or, face to face with somebody, we can find that our emails can be very sharp, especially when people think they're anonymous, commenting on things. Just be very aware of this during this time. We have Venus quadrant Uranus. All right. So some volatility around money. You're going to do pretty well around this, coming out unscathed because of the King of Pentacles. But do be mindful about this. Be more prudent with your finances. We also have the dwarf planet Ixion at 5 degrees of Capricorn conjunct Venus. Okay. And this is asking the question, are the rules we are playing by the right ones for us? Or just the right ones I added for us. So here, just be aware of this. Are the rules that we are playing by the right ones? And I think that's such a profound question because we have the rules that we play by for society, right? This isn't here go and break all the rules and cause havoc and mischief. But if you're coming from a place of love and compassion, okay? But a place of love. If you walk in love, what are the rules that you need to be playing by? Because you might see that they change very differently from the ones that you think you were supposed to be playing by. And you can find that the agitation of the world pulls you out of that source of love, and you have to pull yourself back into it. Because I just felt that shift right now. So just be aware, because your love is so important. Okay? Move forward with love. Just remember, Leo loves drama. So just be mindful about this during this time, because seriously, that can come through. Okay? And we're moving into a very electric month of February. So just be aware of that. Let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides. Ooh. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Yeah, full moon in Leo reversed. Angels and spirit guides. Okay. Yeah, and then the full moon, the new moon in Leo. So very strong Leo energy coming forward. I'm not surprised that we are so, entrenched in this energy, and to see that here. We are crowned with gratitude, and communication is key. That's going to be part of our prosperity during this time, to move forward in gratitude, the thank yous, the, calling in the abundance, and communication, saying what you want, saying what you're going after in your life, really speaking it out loud and claiming it and seeing yourself moving forward in it. The end of a tough cycle approaches. That's reversed, and it's around beauty as well. We're not connecting with the beautiful. We don't feel like the tough cycle is approaching. We have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is petty chaos, and we can feel really caught up in that. But just knowing that the end of the tough cycle is approaching, as we look at the beautiful in our lives, as we connect with the beautiful, and that's going to be transformative for us, and that's really going to be something that's so important. Because I know I've said this a zillion times before, but for all who are new here, first of all, welcome. When I first started reading the moon cards, this is the Queen of the Moon deck. And I remember looking at this deck, and I don't know if I thought like, oh, there's an eye right here or whatever, but I didn't see the outline of the face, the eyebrow, the eye, the nose, the mouth. I just saw a very small aspect of it. And I just thought, oh, that's interesting, right? And then one day when reading the cards, I saw the face, and I was like, oh, Dane, that's why they give you books that go along with the cards. Do I ever read them? No, I don't. I let spirit guide me. But spirit guided me in that moment to start to see the face. And it's like starting to see the beauty in the abstract, the beauty in the unexpected, the connection, the picture, and something bigger. That's going to be really important. And the end of a tough cycle approaches, it does. But it doesn't feel that way, because it still feels like we're walking through the mud, the muck, and the mire. Lies are coming out during this time, okay? We're not going to be secret energy, okay? Keeping secrets, even though a Scorpio is pretty darn good at keeping secrets, okay? But secret energy, this is not a time for keeping secrets. Like, just be mindful. If you don't want somebody to know something, don't tell them. Like, don't tell anybody. Just be mindful about this. Secret energy is going to be very hard during this time, okay? But you're going to see a lot of secrets coming out, a lot of lies, a lot of things that you had thought, oh, well, that's true, or that's like that, or this person wasn't going to lie to me. Why would they? And you're going to start to see like, oh, why did I trust you? Like, what the heck is this? We're moving towards the new moon, all right? As we always are with a full moon, we are moving towards a new moon. And in that new moon, and in this time from full moon to new moon, which I think is about 15 days, if I'm remembering this correctly, but don't quote me on it, we're going to see ourselves assessing things, looking at things differently. And we're going to see quite a change in ourselves, from this full moon on the 25th to the new moon that is coming in February. So just be aware of that energy during this time. It's like, oh, things are really changing. I'm seeing me differently. We're assessing the situation as all the lies come out and as all the secrets come out. And it's like, oh man, wow, it's a bit of a humdinger. It moves us then to the Two of Pentacles. Nourishment. We need to nourish ourselves. We also need to be bold and make the first move, but we're like, no, thanks. No, thanks. We can also want to be quiet and assess. But that's also going to be, in a way, being bold and making the first move, really claiming what we love and what we want. Now, whether we do that in a very extroverted or introverted way, it really doesn't matter. But we're going to find it difficult to be bold and make the first move, to get things started, to get things moving, to get things headed in the direction that we want. But it is going to be important to do so. It moves us then to don't let pride get in the way. It's going to be very easy for everybody during this full moon to let pride absolutely get in the way. So we have that reversed here. We feel like things are unjust or unfair. We're not embracing the void, the emptiness, the quiet, the expanse. We can actually feel rather afraid of it. When everything in my life was going topsy-turvy, I found it very hard to connect to the void of the universe. And that's something that I usually take great solace in connecting with. It's very calming. It's very centering for me. But when kind of facing one's own existence on this earthly plane, it can be a very terrifying thing to do. So I just want to say that if you're in that situation, right, you're facing your existence on this earthly plane, and you're realizing that the infinite might not appear cognitively to ourselves as infinite as it is, I want you to know that you're seen, that you are loved, and that I'm wrapping you in a spiritual hug right now. Be kind to yourself. Everybody's ego can get in the way of everything. We are ego. We are stories. We are simply stories that we tell ourselves. That's how we make up countries and different groups of people and say this matters and that matters. It's all just simply stories. Be mindful during this time of the stories you tell yourself and of what you deem is important. Because it's all simply stories. Confidence is your key to success. We are having a bit of difficulty focusing on that. Why? Because we don't have much patience during this time at all. So I think that's rather amusing the way Spirit set that up. We need to focus on our third eye chakra. Is that something we're going to want to do? Absolutely not. We're not even going to want to focus on our life purpose, our life path, and love and play and, joyous things like that. Sitting in meditation, focusing on our third eye, we're going to be like, oh, please, no. It's kind of like sitting in math class when I was little. It's like, no, I don't want to do this. So here, focusing on your third eye, focusing on your insight, focusing is going to be really important. Confidence is our key to success. Hold your head up high, shoulders back, be proud of yourself, and move forward in that energy of pride and connection. And pride isn't a bad thing. When our ego gets the best of us, that is a bad thing. Being proud of who we are and taking pride in our existence, that's beautiful. Trust is reverse, our bonus card. To trust, to connect. Just know that that's just going to be a little bit more difficult for us, and that's okay. Our subconscious, okay, that's as good as it's going to get. Our subconscious spirit message is beautiful reversed. Just as we have beauty reversed, now we have beautiful reversed. Spirit is saying to us, hey, listen, you need to connect with the beautiful, Scorpio. You're not going to want to. You're going to think, oh, this is nonsense. And for some reason, you're really going to be putting down things that are important to you. For Scorpio, beauty is important, but it's a quieter beauty. It's, I keep on hearing susurration, which is very funny because that's one of my favorite words. And susurration is the sound of like the wind through the leaves. And I love it because it doesn't sound like it should be something so beautiful. And here, there's something so beautiful coming forward, and yet it doesn't sound like it should be, or it doesn't sound like we should be even taking time to connect with it. So do be mindful about that. Connect with the beauty. It's going to be important, and it's going to be fleeting. Like all beauty is fleeting. The beauty of a snowfall is fleeting. The beauty of a spring is fleeting. A beauty of everything. The moon shining in an ice cold sky is fleeting. It moves us to our subconscious chakra message, and that's soul's healing. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above your crown. Healing energy is raining down on you. Connect with it. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Hermit. This is Virgo energy. Now, it can be simply be mindful of a Virgo, and it can also be mindful of going too much into your own head, shutting off the world, being too alone and isolated. Connection is going to be important, even if it's just simply the connection of creating, simply the connection of, watching people tell stories on YouTube. And I'm just saying tell stories because that's all we do. That's all we are as human beings. We tell our stories. We connect with our ideas. What's important to some people is not important to other people. And so here, just be mindful of disconnecting from all of that and falling too much into our own selves without the connection of the rest of the world. Our subconscious tarot message is the Emperor reversed. We're having a bit of difficulty connecting with our sacred masculine. Do be mindful about that. Be mindful also of Aries energy, right, in our charts or in our lives. And here with the Emperor, there is the sense, of how am I protecting what is sacredly mine? So the Emperor's job is to protect his empire, his people. Are we doing a good job of that, or are we not? Are we overwhelmed, or are we, losing focus? So here, just be aware of this energy that is around us during this time. And this fact that we need to connect with our sacred masculine. You can do the simple exercise of taking a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you, and just chanting sacred masculine, sacred masculine, sacred masculine. How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel calm and secure, taken care of? Or does it make you feel on edge? As if you can't relax into that energy. And if that's the case, then this is the energy that we have to work on. Connection with the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine is sacredly important to our beings here on this earthly plane. Remembering that and working on that, because we can think, I'm two parts of this whole, and two parts of this whole coming together in my existence of myself. Remembering that is going to be super important. It moves us to our Luna message, which is here. Realization. And a new romantic cycle begins. Again, Leo energy. Here, this is the new moon in Leo. It is reversed. We're realizing that we are the key. A new romantic cycle isn't going to begin yet until we fully come to the understanding that we ourselves are that key. And we move into a calmer acceptance of our life path. We start letting play become an intricate part of our day and our soul. And we see ourselves moving forward in balance. We see ourselves moving forward in harmony of self. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless. And have a blessed moon. Bye.